Welcome to Sky High Coaching Conversations. I'm Janelle Ryan, global personal coach and author of Become Extraordinary, joining you from the coastline of Australia. This podcast is raw and unedited, just like life. I work with high-performing professionals, entrepreneurs, and elite athletes who are ready to expand their minds into new ways of thinking, create what once felt impossible, and lead themselves and others with confidence. If you're a self-led human who loves growth, truth, intuition, and a lot of laughs, you're in the right place. I'm so happy you're here. Let's dive in.
Hello, welcome to today's conversation. Presence has a price. The leadership switch no one trains you for. I was in a conversation with a client last week. She's new to leadership. And she said to me, Janelle, I want to be a useful, helpful, and effective leader. But I'm finding it surprisingly hard and time-consuming to switch out of my own work when someone needs me and then switch back again. She told me she wanted to be really present in both situations. Now, here's the thing. She wasn't frustrated with her team. She wasn't questioning her capability. She was trying to understand something that didn't quite make sense yet. And what struck me was this. She wasn't describing a leadership problem. She was describing a leadership reality that most people are never taught how to work with. Because presence has a price. And in leadership, that price is often paid quietly. What she was naming wasn't about interruptions or boundaries. It was about that internal switch leaders are required to make repeatedly, all day, often without warning and usually without support. One moment you're in deep self-directed work. You're thinking strategically, solving complex problems, holding long threads of attention, planning the next 12 months or more. And then suddenly, you're required to become relational, available, emotionally present, steady enough to hold someone else's uncertainty, their emotion, or their urgency. And then, ideally, you're expected to return straight back to your own work as if that internal shift carried no cost. But it does. This is the leadership switch no one trains you for. Because these two modes, deep work and relational leadership, draw on very different internal resources. Deep work requires internal coherence. Relational leadership requires external attunement. And moving between them isn't just a behavioural change, it's a neurological one. And this is why capable leaders often end the day feeling like they're really busy, but they're still behind. Not because they've mismanaged their time, which is what they often think, and not because they lack discipline or focus, and they know they don't lack that. So it's puzzling. But because their internal system has been asked to switch states again and again without being shown how to complete those transactions cleanly. That incomplete switching shows up as mental residue, replaying conversations, staying emotionally available long after the moment's passed, struggling to re-enter depth once you've been pulled into responsiveness. And here's the part that matters. This isn't a flaw in leadership. It's a byproduct of caring. Because good leaders don't rush people. They don't half listen. They don't shut things down prematurely. They offer real presence. And presence is not neutral. Presence requires attention, emotional regulation, and cognitive flexibility, which means it has a cost, especially when leaders aren't taught how to enter and exit these states intentionally. This is also why part of this leadership can't be solved with time management alone. you have a beautifully organized calendar and still feel scattered. I know I can. It's because what's actually required here is the ability to manage your internal state, to know how to move between depth and responsiveness without carrying one mode into the other. Now, there are some small things that can help you immediately, not as solutions, but as supports. Number one, naming the switch as it happens. Just saying silently to yourself, I am now switching into relational, use your words, Janelle, relational leadership. And when that interaction is complete, I am now switching back to my work mode. Number two, allowing a brief pause at the end of an interaction. Some long, slow, deep breath. Number three, grounding the body before you actually respond to the request, rather than doing that after. Number four, giving yourself 1 or 2 minutes to reset before returning to the deep work. Maybe you can even stand up, walk around, change locations, change rooms, make a cup of tea or coffee, come back. Just letting your body know that you're moving on to the next phase of your day. Now, these are not efficiency hacks. They're ways of respecting the internal labour of leadership. But you know what? Awareness alone isn't always enough. Because we all know, right? We can see what's happening. We can feel what's happening. And still, we can also at the same time feel our system struggling to keep up. Which brings me to the part most leadership development misses. The ability to switch states can be trained, not cognitively, but neurologically. So, exciting news. This is why I have created a short visualization and meditation to support this exact leadership switch. It's designed to help your nervous system learn how to move more cleanly between depth and presence, to reset after conversations, to regain clarity after interruption, to offer real presence without losing yourself in the process. It's not about becoming less available, which is what a lot of leaders often do. It's about becoming more skillful with how and when you are. So you'll find the practice on the Insight Timer app. So you can download that from any of the app stores, or I'm going to pop a link in the show notes. If you do dive into this visualization/meditation, it's only short. Think of it as a soft strength leadership tool. It's quiet, it's grounded, and it's deeply practical. Because leadership doesn't require you to be endlessly available, but it does ask you to understand the cost of presence and to learn how to pay it wisely. Thank you for joining me on the airwaves today. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. If you have any feedback, if you do dive into the meditation and you want to let me know if it's made a difference in your workday, please do reach out. Otherwise, I will maybe you'll join me next time on the A. Hopefully you'll join me next time. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Hopefully you'll join me. Good thing this is a raw and unedited podcast. I'm just going to pause for a moment. Hopefully you'll join me next time on the airwaves. Enjoy the rest of your day. You know what? I'm just going to go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you for being here for another Sky High coaching conversation. If today expanded something in you, trust it and allow it to lead you to your next step. Take what landed, leave what didn't, and keep creating the life and vocation that feels unmistakably yours. Until next time, keep expanding, keep creating, and keep leading with clarity, courage, and a little magic.